Okay, you want to tell everybody what you're doing?
Well, we got one of the Roadmen, who you've seen several times. This is actually the car. If you remember, I did a rant and rave about the brake booster thing from Mopac. This was the car. The brakes are working awesome after we sorted that situation out. But he brought it back, and like everybody, he's a working stiff, and he can only do so much as he can afford it. So he brought it back in because the floors are rotten. Now, I've already cut this section out. You had to be careful doing this. Make sure you pay attention, because this car's got all the brake lines and gas lines underneath it. So I've cut out where the rust was. Still got a little more tweaking to do here and there, but basically going to put a new pan in here. Now, of course, we're just going to make, we didn't buy pans for it, we're just making our own 18 gauge sheet metal. And you can see we've got our bead roller, and we made the ribs in here. Basically what that does is that just stops, if it was a flat piece of metal, if you can imagine a flat piece of metal getting welded in here, it's going to oil can, and what I mean by oil can, it's going to go ting 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 like that when you push on it. This stops it.
Is that the official ting 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 ting?
Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, there's the there's how. Now, of course, obviously these, you know, they don't come with a, you know, they don't come with the beads that would make exactly this. Ours came with this, and it doesn't matter. It's a floor. We're not taking this thing to Pebble Beach to the Concours event.
We're not?
No.
Oh, come on. That would be so much fun.
It would be.
No, it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't really. Who gives a shit about those teetotalers drinking their fucking wine and cheese?
Teetotalers.
I don't know what they are. White glove. Anyway, so that's what we're doing for him. And then we're going to do a tune-up on the car. So you can see on the passenger side, he's only got a bit of rust in the corner there. I'm thinking, I haven't gotten in here yet, but I'm thinking if you look at that, it's pretty damn solid. So I'm thinking I might be able to get away and just do this corner for him, save him some money, because it's always about saving the customer money. You know, we'll get in there and we'll just see how bad the floor is. We'll clean it up. If it starts to get too thin in some areas, well, we'll cut it out. And that's just what we got to do there. So you can actually see the old floor behind you there laying on the ground that we've cut out. So that's what's going on there. And of course you yourself, you're working on Graham's gauges over here. Got to give yourself some credit.
Me, myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this was his old, you got quite the mess going on over here. This was his old cluster, and the chrome is all, so he bought a new one.
You can flip that over, it's already screwed in, so it won't go anywhere.
And Lisa had to put all this together. Now, of course, the new one didn't come with these holes, and these are where the factory oil pressure and your alternator, they go there. So Lisa had to cut these out. She had to be extremely careful, get the proper measurements. Did a nice job. She put all the new lenses behind, cleaned up his old gauges, put them in there. So
they look nice now.
They look beautiful. So he'll be very happy with that. And if he's not happy, well, it doesn't matter. It's only Graham.
Hey, don't talk about my Graham like that. How many times do I have to tell you?
Yeah.
Don't worry, Graham. I got your stuff.
Yeah, we got you covered there, Graham. So that's what's going on there.
And the heater box.
Yeah, got the heater all apart. She's painting it all in pieces, doing it properly, putting a new heater core in.
Where did I put the speckle paint? Oh, it's over on the other bench. Yeah, there's the new heater core.
And then, of course, then we'll come around here, and here's our bead roller I was using. This is made by Magnum. Anyone that was wondering about the floor pan, this is the bead roller right here. Now, of course, they should be mounted on the floor.
Makes it much easier.
Much easier. This is not mounted just like this is on wheels rolling around. The reason it's not mounted is the shop is going through a lot of refurbishing over the years. I'm not the guy that's going to go in debt and go to the bank and say, give me 20, 30 grand, which they would do, so I can put the shop the way I want it. I'm the guy that saves up, just like most of my working people out there that bring me their cars. I save up, and every year I do a little more to the shop. Eventually, the bay that you always see Dave working in, the small bay, that's going to become our metal shop room. And all this equipment is going to be over there. We're going to be all set up with our English wheel and, you know, all our rollers and brakes and all that kind of stuff's going to be set up over there. But in the meantime, this is where it is. So it's two people, put some weight on it, crank the handle, and away you go. It'll work.
Yeah, it works right in front of the hoist. It's awesome.
That's right. Here is Jake's car. Jake's sway bar came in. Look at that sucker. Nice Skookum sway bar. If you can see up top there, we've got his brake booster in, his master cylinder, his proportioning valve. All the brakes are hooked up. They're working. They're pumped up, working. No leaks, no nothing. E-brake, which isn't a big deal. You probably can't see, but E-brake is up. It's working. We got his sway bar put on the back. It came in. Differential is full of fluid. Don't forget, if you're running a posi diff, you should put a posi additive in it. You have to. You just shouldn't. You have to. Everything there is working. What else can I tell you? We're working on getting most of the, we got a lot of the heater box in his car. We're getting the wiper motor in it next year. The motor should be here in a couple weeks, and we're going to have the motor in 2 weeks. We're going to start figuring out the dash, getting the wiring back underneath the dash of his car. Brand new gas tank came in for his car.
Ooh, I didn't see that. How did I not see that?
Lots of good stuff is coming in. So Jake's car is actually coming along quite a ways because the whole body's in final primer. We still got to do all the hood and the fenders and that, but the body itself is in final primer and it's looking really nice. I'm going to get under here pretty quick and I'm going to put my spray mask on, which I showed you guys a long time ago. It's like a liquid soapy stuff. He sprayed out of the gun. He sprayed all over. It covers everything up. If any overspray lands on it, it doesn't matter. You take the hose after, hose it down, and away you go. Everything's nice and clean. So that's what's going on there right now. We've got the fenders for Gene's 41 Ford, if you remember. We had them all taken apart. Again, you did that. Lisa took all the fenders apart.
Yeah, Gene, you owe me some rum for that. 75-year-old bolts I had to struggle with.
Yeah, well, Gene's on a pension. He can barely afford this. How's he going to afford rum? Get my money first, Gene. Anyway, so this section here we cut out. This is where it was rotten. Again, we did the rear fenders on Gene's car last year. This year he's doing the front fenders. He's at home playing with the car. He sent me some pictures over. He's put tri-power on it now. He's changed the whole look of the motor. It looks awesome. So I'm going to get these primered up later this afternoon, and then next week we'll be painting these, and then his car will come back and we'll put the fenders back on Gene's car, and then he's just going to drive it for the summer again. That's all that's going to happen with Gene's car for this summer. So that's what's going on there. How are we doing on time on the video?
We're good. We're at 6 minutes.
Okay, well let's show somebody, because I know, guys, some people like the long videos, and I try not to do my videos too long because, well, you guys don't like to listen to me talk, right? Anyway, we're going to show you something here. So there's Graham's truck, obviously, sitting there waiting. We're going to get going, getting it together. So here we go. Now, if you remember Dan's 37 Ford, this is, from the firewall back, it's in final primer. The fenders are in first primer, so is the hood. So we've been playing around with it, and if you remember, Dan built this motor. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't build the motor. We just adjusted a few things on it, and you know, we got the lifters adjusted, the rockers, put the distributor in, wired it, all the typical little bullshit to get it going. Let's see here. We'll let you guys have a listen to it. Now, I could be totally throwing myself under the bus here because I do believe last time I had this car running, I think it was damn near out of gas. Well, let's give it a try. Let's give that a try. Now, of course, you're probably looking at the wiring. What's all that? Well, the dash isn't in it, and plus, Dan is on a budget like most people. He said get it wired so the engine part of it works. Leave the rest of the wiring lay there. That's the interior wiring. The wiring outside is for the exterior. The wire running to the back is the lights. He's going to finish that off. Let's see if we can get this baby going. Now there is no choke. And of course it's hard to turn this in. Oh, come on, old girl. There we go. Oh, I'm not quick enough. Come on. Holy, we're going to make a good video here. How many times? Let me see. Oh, it's out of gas.
Yeah, it could be out of gas.
Well, it was... No. You don't want to overflow. There we go. It might be out of gas. Oh. There we go,
Hey!
guys. Big thumbs up. So there it is. Sounds pretty good. You can listen to the back of it. There you go. We didn't have to cut or edit anything. We show you all this shit because this is what happens. If we didn't get it started right away, we got it started. We're not a television show, we're Old Time Garage. We're just in the backyard building hot rods and showing you how it's done. And this is what it's all about. So there it is, it runs really nice. It's got good oil pressure. You can see when the thing's ice cold, bloody oil pressure is right at 70 pounds. He's charging good. Everything's looking good over there. So the plan is that this car is going to be coming in the shop here this week, and Dave is going to start to do the final block from the fenders, from the firewall. Sorry, from the firewall back, Dave is going to do the final block on it. We're going to get her up and ready to get going for paint. Obviously the doors, the fenders, the whole thing's going to come apart. You paint a car like this in pieces. So let me just shut her down. She's running out of gas, I do believe now.
Now you're just showing off.
Yeah, now I'm showing off, yeah. But anyway, so we're going to be starting on this little girl. We're going to get her painted. The whole idea of this car for Dan, like I've said in several videos, is we're going to paint it. We're going to give it back to Dan. Unfortunately, you guys are not going to see it with the interior in it. You're not going to see it with the chrome on it. You're just basically going to see it looking like it is now, but painted and going back home for him. Because money's an issue for everybody out there, and he's on a budget. And when I say he's on a budget, I mean that he can finish wiring it, he can bolt the bumpers on, he wants to do that stuff, and he's knowledgeable. He can handle that stuff. He got us to do the worst of it that he couldn't handle, and that's all okay. So
I'm sure he'll bring it out here too.
Huh?
After it's done, I'm sure he'll bring it out here. After it's
he'll
done.
bring it out when it's done. Sometimes it sucks because I want to show you guys these cars completely finished, and you see them roll out like this, but it just is the way it is. So that's what's going on there. I think we're pretty much caught up here. You
gotta talk about the TA hood.
Oh yeah.
People love that.
Well, we got a TA hood here. Yes, we got a TA hood.
A Smokey and the Bandit hood.
So any of you Smokey and the Bandit or Gas Monkey Garage fans, seeing how he's marketed, he's the next fucking Burt Reynolds marketing the corner there on TAs, you know, which is all good. I'm only bugging him if I doubt he's watching. Doesn't even know about us. But anyway, we're doing a TA hood. The guy brought it out to us. We're going to strip this hood right down. It's got a lot of pimpling and blistering underneath. You can't see it here right now, but there's a lot of it going down. We're going to strip it down. He wants it perfectly straight as an arrow. Obviously back the original black. He brought us a paint code and everything for it. And then we're going to put the big decal on it. We're going to put that big old chicken up there, or eagle, I should say. We're going to stick the old eagle back up on the hood there. So,
isn't it a fire? No, it's not a Firebird, is it?
No, not
okay.
That's
or whatever the bird is. Sorry to all you Trans Am fans
know.
out there.
Yeah, normally we should mention this too. I do not work on stuff that's newer than 1972, but this is all okay.
This is body and paint and a decal. So
this is, yeah, but the thing is that you start getting a lot of guys, they'll be bringing us cars from the 80s and the 90s, and they'll be saying, do you want to do this? And I'm sorry guys, as much as I know maybe that's your baby, and it is old considering we are in 2016. It's not old enough for us. We don't have a lot of metric stuff here. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like the metal in the newer cars. It's very thin. I find that I got my welder set at working on these old cars, no problem. I leave my welder setting where it's at, and I bring a newer car in here, fuck, I just blow holes in it. And, you know, I don't want to fuck it up for you. I mean, like I said, I do the best I can, but I'm not into the new stuff. It doesn't interest me. My heart's not into it, and I feel wrong doing it because my heart's not into it. Where everything else here, my heart is into it. It's not just your car when it's here, it's my car. I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to make it what I can. So, I mean, you look at my old 76 GMC pickup. Every time I look at that, that's a new car to me. I think I'm driving a new truck. That's the only thing I got with disc brakes and power steering. And I look at it and I'm like, that's new. And then I realized the other day, fuck, the thing can apply for an antique plate. It's not new. So I'm very old school. I'm very set in my ways. And you know what? This is what I know. So I would sooner do what I know for you than try and tackle something I don't know. There's no point you paying me for working longer hours on something I'm not familiar with or digging around with. I think all of you would agree with that, right? You know what I mean? I'm not a plumber. I bring the plumber in. I could probably tackle the plumbing, but I pay the plumber because that's what he does, if you know what I'm saying. So that's about it. There's nothing else new here at Old Time Garage. We're working away on that stuff.
Are we going to talk about her?
No, we're not going to talk about her.
Everybody's asking about her.
I don't care how much they ask about her.
So I shouldn't be filming her?
No.
Okay.
Just look away. Walk on. That's right. Walk on. Look away. That's right. Pick your battles.
Right.
Don't look. Just
right.
walk on.
I'll
remember,
move over here.
It's always a good time at Old Time, and we'll see you next time.